Blackhead prevention works best when it is simple, gentle, and consistent rather than harsh, complicated, or rushed. Blackheads develop when pores become clogged with oil and dead skin cells, and the top of the pore remains open, which allows the material inside to darken when it meets air. So, prevention is really about keeping pores as clear and calm as possible over time. The first step is a steady cleansing routine. Wash the face gently in the morning and again at night with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water. Then pat the skin dry instead of rubbing it hard with a towel. Scrubbing, overwashing, and using very hot water can irritate the skin barrier and may make the face feel more inflamed or uncomfortable, so stronger is not always better. A gentle routine is usually the smarter routine. If your skin feels oily during the day, it can help to blot excess oil or rinse lightly after sweating, especially after exercise, heat, or a long day outdoors, because sweat mixed with oil and friction can leave the skin feeling congested. It also helps to avoid constantly touching the face with your hands, resting your chin on your palm, or letting dirty phone screens, hats, helmet straps, and pillowcases stay in contact with the same areas day after day. Prevention is often about small, repeated habits rather than one dramatic treatment. When choosing products, look for formulas labeled non-comedogenic, oil-free, or water-based when possible, because these are generally less likely to clog pores. This applies not only to moisturizer and sunscreen, but also to makeup, primer, and even hair products that may slide down onto the forehead or temples. If you use makeup, remove it fully before bed. Sleeping in makeup can leave residue on the skin and add to the feeling of blocked pores. Hair oil, heavy pomades, thick leave-in creams, and sprays can also contribute to congestion along the hairline, so keeping oily hair products away from the face can make a noticeable difference. Many people with blackhead-prone skin worry that moisturizer will make everything worse, but skipping moisturizer is not always the answer. When the skin becomes dry, tight, or irritated, it can become harder to tolerate acne treatments and harder to keep a routine going. A lightweight, non-comedogenic moisturizer can support the skin barrier and make a preventive routine easier to maintain. Sunscreen matters too. Some people assume the sun will dry out the skin and improve blackheads, but unprotected sun exposure can irritate the skin, worsen discoloration, and complicate recovery, so a non-comedogenic broad-spectrum sunscreen is usually a better choice than relying on the sun. For over-the-counter ingredients, salicylic acid is a common option because it helps loosen the buildup inside pores, and adapalene is another ingredient that can help keep pores from becoming clogged over time. These should be introduced carefully. More product does not mean faster success. A thin layer used consistently is usually more helpful than applying large amounts and irritating the skin. If a treatment leaves the face painfully dry, burning, or peeling, it is often a sign to reduce frequency, simplify the routine, and give the barrier time to settle. Blackhead prevention also means resisting the urge to squeeze, dig, scrape, or attack the skin with metal tools and fingernails at home. That can lead to redness, marks, irritation, broken skin, and sometimes scarring. Patience usually protects the skin better than force. It can also help to pay attention to daily triggers. For some people, long, sweaty workouts without cleansing afterward, heavy, occlusive skincare, greasy work environments, frequent helmet wear, or constantly changing products make congestion worse. For others, stress, poor sleep, or a chaotic routine make consistency harder, and once the routine slips, the skin often follows. A clear routine can be very simple. In the morning, gentle cleanse, light moisturizer, sunscreen. At night, gentle cleanse, treatment if tolerated, moisturizer. That kind of structure is easy to remember, easy to repeat, and easier to judge over time. if you are trying a new product, give it enough time before deciding it failed. Skin often improves gradually, not instantly. The goal is not perfection in 3 days, but steadier skin over weeks and months. If blackheads are persistent, widespread, mixed with painful, inflamed acne, or leaving dark marks or scars, it is reasonable to seek professional care instead of endlessly experimenting. Still, for many people, the most reliable formula is not glamorous at all. It is gentle cleansing, non-comedogenic products, regular sunscreen, careful use of proven ingredients, and a calm attitude toward the mirror. And once that sensible little routine is in place, let the bathroom shelf mind its own business for a while, and imagine a very different scene in a small American town where 4 retirees accidentally became local celebrities because of one newspaper typo, 3 matching windbreakers, and a parade that no one in their right mind had agreed to lead. The town was called Maple Ridge, though there were only 2 maple trees anyone could identify with confidence, and one of them leaned so dramatically it seemed to be reconsidering the arrangement. On the edge of town stood Cedar View Apartments for Active Adults, a name that sounded energetic in the brochure and mostly meant there was a walking path, 2 metal benches, and a community room that smelled faintly of coffee, lemon cleaner, and weather updates. Dorothy Mae Perkins lived in apartment 2B and had the sort of organizational talent that made labels behave better in her presence. She was 74, a retired church secretary, owner of 12 cardigans arranged by season, and believed most of civilization's problems could be improved by a clipboard and the right pen. On her floor lived Hank Barlow, 78, retired mechanic, widower, lover of practical shoes, and suspicious of all wellness trends introduced after 1983. Across the hall lived Vivian Cole, 71, former hairdresser, proud possessor of silver hair set with enough elegance to make nearby lamps feel underdressed, and a woman who never met a scarf she could not improve. Downstairs in one, a lived Walter Bean, 81, retired mail carrier, collector of peppermints, and a man so calm during emergencies that people occasionally forgot to panic at all when he was around. The whole business began in April after Dorothy's doctor, a cheerful younger man with athletic posture and a stethoscope that looked expensive, advised her to keep moving every day in a way you can actually enjoy. Dorothy had no objection to the first half of that sentence and deep concerns about the second. Enjoyment, in her experience, was unreliable. Still, she took the advice seriously. 2 days later, she placed a handwritten notice on the Cedar View bulletin board between chair yoga for beginners and a flyer offering knife sharpening from someone's nephew. The notice read, Milled Walking Club, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Friendly pace, no showing off. She underlined the last part twice. On Monday morning, 3 people appeared. Hank came because he said fresh air was fine, and people had become too dramatic about it. Vivian came because she believed morning light was flattering, and because walking alone felt like a missed opportunity for accessories. Walter came because Dorothy had asked nicely, and because after 40 years of delivering mail through rain, sleet, barking dogs, and front porches designed by enemies of knees, walking around a quiet apartment complex sounded almost luxurious. The club was an immediate success by their standards, which meant nobody pulled a hamstring, nobody argued about route selection, and Dorothy brought a thermos of coffee on Friday. Their pace was not fast. It was thoughtful. They completed the walking path around Cedar View in 23 minutes and considered that excellent because it left time for commentary. They discussed weather, grocery prices, grandchildren, bird behavior, and whether the new pharmacist in town looked trustworthy. By the second week, 2 more residents joined briefly, and then withdrew after learning Dorothy meant mild, literally, and would not permit competitive power walking. This is not a race, she told them. This is maintenance with conversation. The trouble arrived in the form of Todd Renshaw, summer intern at the Maple Ridge Gazette, age 19, eager, polite, underpaid, and not especially careful with vowels. Todd came to Cedar View to take a photo for a small community calendar column called Around Town. He met Dorothy near the bench, asked the name of the group, scribbled something quickly, and then hurried away because his editor wanted the spring bake sale captions before noon. The following Wednesday, the Gazette published a cheerful item under a grainy photograph of Dorothy, Hank, Vivian, and Walter standing beside the walking path. The headline read, "Wild Walking Club Gains Momentum at Cedar View." Dorothy stared at the paper in the community room, blinked twice, and said, very quietly, "Well, that is incorrect." Hank leaned over her shoulder. "Wild? Dorothy, you once stopped in the middle of a walk because my shoelace looked morally uncertain." Vivian adjusted her glasses and laughed so hard she had to sit down. Walter, as usual, took a peppermint and considered the matter. "Could be worse," he said. "Could have said jazz walking." Dorothy phoned the newspaper at once, but the correction never quite happened the way she intended. Todd apologized profusely and promised to fix it in the next edition. On Friday, the Gazette printed a new line in the events section. "Wild walkers of Cedar View to participate in Maple Ridge Spring Parade." Dorothy nearly dropped her toast. "We are not participating in anything," she said. "I haven't even agreed to a hat." By noon, the phone in the Cedar View office was ringing every 30 minutes. The parade committee wanted to know whether the Wild Walkers preferred to march before or after the Vintage Tractor Club. A local sporting goods store offered discounted water bottles. The public library asked whether the club could pose for a "Staying Active at Every Age" display. Someone from the radio station left a message requesting a live interview. "This is how nonsense spreads," Hank declared. "One typo and next thing you know there are branded visors." Vivian, to everyone's alarm, said, "Branded visors might be cute if the color is right." Dorothy tried to stop it. She called the parade office, where a woman named Sharon spoke with the indestructible enthusiasm of someone who had once organized a 5K in the rain and liked to mention it. Dorothy explained there had been a misunderstanding. Sharon listened, then said, "Oh, I love that. You're subverting expectations. A gentle wildness. Very marketable." "No," Dorothy said. "I am correcting a mistake." "Exactly," Sharon replied. "Authentic." Dorothy hung up and sat in stunned silence. Walter offered her a peppermint, which was his version of triage. By Sunday, the whole town knew about the Wild Walkers. Teenagers at the ice cream shop asked if they did tricks. A man at the hardware store asked Hank whether the club trained with ankle weights. Vivian's niece in Ohio called to say she had seen the newspaper clipping online and wanted to know if her aunt had finally become an influencer. Dorothy felt that civilization was losing its grip. Matters worsened when Mayor Collins, a genial man with excellent teeth and a habit of shaking hands with such concentration that he seemed to be auditioning for public office every minute of the day, visited Cedar View in person. He arrived with a camera-ready smile and a box of pastries. "Dorothy," he said, "the spring parade would be honored to have Maple Ridge's famous wild walkers near the front." "We are not famous," Dorothy said, "and we are not wild." The mayor smiled even wider. "That humility is exactly why people love you." Hank muttered something about democracy being a risky experiment. Dorothy tried logic, then firmness, then a tone she had once used on 2 deacons and a choir treasurer who were behaving badly over folding tables. None of it worked. The mayor had already imagined the headline, and when a man in local government imagines a headline featuring cheerful seniors, there is no earthly force equal to it. Finally, Dorothy said they would discuss it privately and give an answer later. That evening, the 4 original walkers met in the community room around a table with artificial flowers and a bowl of wrapped butterscotch candies nobody admitted liking. Dorothy had brought a legal pad. "We have 3 options," she announced. 1. Refuse and hope the story dies. 2. Participate and maintain dignity. 3. Fake our own disappearance. "I don't have the energy for 3, said Hank. Vivian lifted one elegant shoulder. "If we do participate, I want it clearly stated that I will not wear neon." Walter unfolded the newspaper again. "Looks to me like the town has already decided who we are. If we stay home, they'll invent something even sillier. We might as well show up and walk the way we walk." Dorothy looked at him. Hank looked at him. Vivian looked at him. Walter unwrapped a peppermint. "Besides," he added, "I haven't led a parade before. Feels inefficient to waste the opportunity." That was how the Mild Walking Club became. By reluctant vote and one peppermint-driven philosophy, the Wild Walkers of Cedar View. Preparation did not go smoothly. Sharon from the parade committee sent over a promotional packet that included sponsor coupons, a request for a club slogan, and a sketch of possible marching attire featuring flame graphics on windbreakers. Vivian held the page at arm's length and said, "I would sooner be buried in my curtains." Dorothy composed a reply insisting on comfortable shoes, breathable fabrics, and absolutely no flames anywhere on the body or implied around it. The sponsor at the sporting goods store, however, misunderstood again and donated 4 bright red windbreakers with Wild Walkers printed across the back in enormous white letters. "They make us look like emergency ketchup," Hank said. "At least it's a confident ketchup," Vivian said, examining the stitching. She disliked the color, but she approved of the zipper quality. Walter put his on, shrugged once, and said, "Warm enough." The radio interview happened next. Todd from the Gazette, apparently trying to repair his reputation, arranged for the group to appear on Maple Ridge Morning with host Jenny Sue Parker, who had perfect diction and the astonishing ability to ask enthusiastic questions about nearly anything. "So, tell me," she beamed into the microphone, "what makes your walking style wild?" Dorothy opened her mouth to explain the error, but Hank leaned toward the mic first and said, "Honestly, we hydrate aggressively and occasionally discuss pie in an unstructured way." There was a second of silence. Then Jenny Sue laughed so hard she had to remove her headphones. The clip spread all over town. After that, people began waving when the group did its morning laps. Children riding bicycles called, "Go Wild Walkers." The owner of the diner refused to let them pay for coffee on Thursdays. Someone taped a sign to the Cedar View bench that said, "Official Training Headquarters." Dorothy removed it twice before accepting that signs, like rumors, reproduced when fed attention. To their own surprise, the 4 began to enjoy themselves. Not the foolishness exactly, but the togetherness. Their daily walks gained a new energy. They debated parade strategy, posture, hand-waving styles, and whether synchronized stretching would look wholesome or cult-like. Vivian proposed matching visors in soft navy with a tasteful white trim. Dorothy approved. Hank objected on principle and then wore his every day. Walter brought a folding map of the parade route and pointed out where shade might be found. "Hydration station here," he said. "Emergency sitting opportunity here. Funnel cake danger zone approximately this block." Dorothy made notes. 2 weeks before the parade, Cedar View hosted a practice march in the parking lot. 12 residents came to watch from folding chairs. Mabel Green from 3C rang a cowbell. Mr. Larkin saluted from a mobility scooter. Someone brought lemonade. Dorothy tried to keep the rehearsal serious, but the moment Hank's cap blew off and landed in a shrub while Vivian continued waving, as though this were all part of a choreographed routine, the spectators applauded like royalty had passed. Even Dorothy laughed, and once she started, it was difficult to stop. She laughed at the red jackets, at the nonsense, at the fact that after a lifetime of careful lists and useful order, she was somehow practicing a parade entrance at 74. That evening, she called her daughter in Colorado and described the whole ridiculous saga. Her daughter laughed until she cried, then said, "Mom, I think you accidentally joined the fun part of old age." Dorothy pretended not to hear that last sentence, mostly because she suspected it might be true. Parade week arrived with tulips in front yards, fresh paint on the town gazebo, and enough local excitement to suggest either civic pride or a temporary lapse in common judgment. The Wild Walkers were now scheduled between the high school marching band and the Maple Ridge Beekeepers Association, which made Dorothy nervous for reasons she could not fully articulate. "If bees become involved, I'm going home," Hank announced. Sharon reassured them that parade bees were symbolic and likely contained. The night before the event, Dorothy laid out her visor, windbreaker, walking shoes, tissues, lip balm, small sunscreen, and a printed schedule in case public enthusiasm disrupted memory. Vivian set her hair in careful rollers and selected earrings that swung just enough to suggest movement without risking chaos. Hank slept badly and blamed youth culture in general. Walter packed peppermints, extra tissues, bandages, and 4 granola bars in a canvas bag because experience had taught him that official events always forgot something basic. On Saturday morning, Maple Ridge woke to blue sky, flags on porches, and the smell of pancake batter drifting from the church fundraiser near Main Street. The Wild Walkers gathered behind the library at 9 o'clock, where floats, tractors, dancers, scout troops, antique cars, and a man dressed as a giant ear of corn waited in varying states of preparation. The high school band practiced the same trumpet phrase 17 times. A little girl in baton-twirling sequins tripped, recovered, and bowed to imaginary applause. Sharon darted through the crowd with a clipboard and a headset, looking like the commander of an oddly festive military operation. "Wild Walkers!" she cried when she spotted them. "You look incredible." "We look visible," Hank corrected. "That's not the same thing." Dorothy checked her watch. "What is our exact cue?" "Follow the marching band once they clear the corner by the bakery," Sharon said. "Wave often, be yourselves. The town adores you." Vivian leaned close to Dorothy. "That sentence should not be legal." Then came the first parade complication. Mayor Collins wanted a photo with the Wild Walkers for the town website. The moment he stepped beside them, a gust of wind blew Dorothy's printed schedule into a puddle, Vivian's visor sideways, and Hank's cap under the wheel of the beekeeper's trailer. Walter, without any visible acceleration, retrieved the cap, straightened the visor, handed Dorothy a tissue, and continued chewing a peppermint. "This," he said, "is why preparation matters." They barely had time to recover before the second complication arrived, in the form of a